Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Yay! Congratulations, you made it. They are in module 6. This is the finale. I like to call it, I like to say finale and not final. Finale sounds a lot more sophisticated. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So listen, we are going to do a wrap up. I know each of you have had an opportunity, if you haven't already done so, to get caught up in any of the modules. They're all sitting there for you inside of the Facebook group. You have links to access any of the prior sessions. All the resources are sitting inside of the unit, so you have that access to. But let's put our priorities straight, shall we? And I want to give you a toast. Yes, a toast. I made some sangria just for you guys. I know I can't share it with you, but in the spirit of spirits, get it? That I wanted to say congratulations to you guys and how you've been able to take it from day one all the way to today. And so I wanted to give yourselves a pat on the back, have yourself a sip of champagne or cola or sparkling water, whatever is your choice. But I'm going to give you a toast and say, congratulations, because you've done something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do. And that is that you've been able to take a step forward and absorb information, process it, put it into action, and start putting those ideas onto paper. And tonight, we're really going to focus on a recap of everything you've done today, and also what are some next steps I would love to help you go towards you getting to your launch day. So you recall last week's session that that's what we were talking about, launch day. So that's kind of where we're going to pick up from and carry on for the next hour. So that being said, let me get a sip in myself. So again, and it is really, really good. Okay, so if you want the recipe, shoot me. I will be more than happy to hand you over a recipe for the sangria. It's something you do have to make like the day before because you need it to kind of get all juicy and smooshy inside. So give me 1 second there. And uh, let's see, just want to make sure coming through. And then we're going to get started. There we go. All right, so Module 6 is an opportunity to really give focus to what are your next steps now that you have clarity around who you are, what you're able to do, what talent you're going to bring forward, what problem you're solving for your intended audience. What does that product or service look like or need to look like? How do you intend to bring it forward inside of that defined audience that you've done some research around? The pricing and all those other pieces. So I want us to take a look back. If you recall, during our initial session, I set out some learning objectives for you guys. And those learning objectives were, uh, there were quite a few actually, but there were several that I want to kind of just have us a recap on. So you'll recall in the beginning of our coming together that I started this program with the essential idea that there are many people who have a dream of starting their own business, but starting a business can be a bit overwhelming, could be a bit daunting. And so that's why a lot of people don't do it because they feel as though that's just not something they think that they can carry out themselves, which they shouldn't have to do it by themselves. But by going through some step by steps over the course of the 6 weeks, you have been able to gain the knowledge, the confidence, and put pieces and ideas on paper so that how you can be a successful launcher with your business idea itself. And so part of that is that being able to have that entrepreneurial mindset, having an idea to be able, how is it that you can combine your lifestyle vision with your values that you want to bring into your business, and how you can find a business that uses your strengths and your talents. And I think that's one of the things that most people miss is that why not capitalize on something you already do really well at and sharing that with the world by way of a problem solving technique. And so identifying that target audience, who is it that you're selling to, your ability to have and identify that profitable niche, right? You just don't want to be all willy-nilly, that you've been able to identify what is the profitable niche, what's out there, what is the market still, starving for, And then being able to select your business model, right, that's going to fit the needs that you have. And all of this that I've covered with you are inside of the notes, inside of the cheat sheets that are inside of each one of the units 1 through 6, or really 5. Okay, so you have all of that information there as well as the videos that were there prior. One of the other objectives that was presented to you over the course of the past 5 weeks, 6 weeks, is being able to design a product or a service for that's going to basically kind of be like your kickstart sale. Like, what are you going to launch with? You need a product or service that you're going to launch with. It's going to bring forward to your intended audience, right? You're not trying to build out a whole collection. No, just one simple product. Take it there, bring it forward, make sure that, and then you start wrapping other pieces around it. And then, of course, you want to be legal with your business and being established and all those. So, what are all the do's and don'ts and some of the things you really need to think about when you are establishing your structures? And then an opportunity to look at branding and just the basics, a basic as far as what things you need to have in place for a successful brand awareness campaign. And then another objective was that we were to set value based pricing and being able to understand that you have to base your pricing of your product or your service based on both overhead costs, a set of margins, and a calculation that's going to be able to yield you an amount of profit so that you can do meet the financial goals that you have for yourself. In addition to that, um, formulating a marketing plan. How do you intend to put yourself in front of other people? What will that look like? And so, wanting to have ideas centered around what does that marketing plan need to consist of is also what it will look like. And then, date for your first launch. What is that date? Which we're going to delve in a whole lot deeper in a minute. Um, Hold on. All right, and so that's what our focus is right now as well. Okay, so there's that. So let me just swivel back over here. So those were some of our key objectives. And we also talked in our last session about your key metrics. So it's one thing to launch, it's a whole nother other about how you're going to progress monitor your business, how you're going to track your progress and how things are doing, what's working. What are some of those mechanisms that you really need to have in place in order for those to do? And how do you understand your own data when it comes to your business? Because that's critically important. It's your business, you own it, you need to know the ins and out of it. Don't let anyone else run the business for you, particularly around the financials. And so I gave you some key metrics and how is it that you're going to be able to do those measures and how you'll be able to monitor them. And there's quite a few others, but again, at a basic high level, here are some key things that you wanted to know. So look back at Unit 5 with respect to that. And then wanting to be able to set up systems that are going to increase your proficiency in those time savers. So back in week 4, I provided for you several tools or resources that I subscribe to that I find to be very useful for those of us who are just starting out in the business that you may want to adapt. At least try them out and see how they work for you. There's nothing that's perfect about any of them, but they are certainly useful tools that can help you be more productive and efficient in how you are managing your business in and of itself. So hopefully you will find that to be helpful. So over the past 6 weeks, engaging in these live sessions as well as participating in the follow-up activities at the end of every session that you find also inside of the group have gotten you to where we are tonight. That again, I get another sip for congratulations. That is so tasty. I'm like really impressed with myself, I have to say. Okay, so let's do that. Now, let's get back here. Okay, so with that said, so what I'm going to what I'm going to first do right now is, now that I've done a quick overview, I figured what I wanted to allow people to do, if you were those of you who are live in this session and you would like to either just voice, you don't have to, I won't have to put you on the screen if you don't want to be on the screen, but you could certainly just join in and having the conversation because that's what it's critically about. I want to be able to address any questions that you may have. And so those of you who are able to join and you clicked on the link from the Facebook group, you don't have to join by camera. I could just put you on audio. So you don't have to share your video screen in and of itself. So feel free to do that. So I know I see Melissa. I think Lakeisha's trying to come on. And again, don't have to show your video. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. So we have that. So with that being said, and then what I wanted to do also is I want to give you kind of a sneak peek. What are some of the next steps of what can happen now that you've completed this master class? Because I've thrown in a couple extra bonuses for you guys. So I'm kind of excited about as well. So hopefully you'll see value in that. So give me 1 second to do that right there. Alrighty. So again, this is Dr. Yan, your Keep It Simple coach, and this is the finale of the Jumpstart Your Dream Biz Masterclass. So today we are going to go over some of the things that we covered. I'm going to be able to address any questions that you have from the previous sessions that you have, if you haven't already asked them. Some of you have been communicating with me in between sessions, which has been excellent, and I've been able to address your needs as well. Hopefully, everything that you have any questions about up until now, you have answers to. And again, this is like an ongoing process. So the point about this particular masterclass was to get you to the point of readiness that you could say, you know what, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to sell. I know what expertise I can drive. I know who my target audience is. I know the type of product I want to bring to the table. When you have that level of awareness, it provides you with the level of confidence and security, knowing that you're making proper steps in the right directions. And you're not going into this kind of like happen chance, right? Or half-ass, as we like to call it in the real world. And so that's what I'm here to do, is to kind of help you to launch your business in order to do so. So with that being said, I'm going to see if one of my, let's see, add, can I unmute you? Let's see. Okay, so Melissa, if you want, you can unmute yourself and then I can hear you so that I can take any questions that you have. And anyone else who's watching from the Facebook Live group itself, if you have questions, again, you can simply just click the link in the post, and I'm going to post it here as well. Let me see if I can do that. I'm going to post it here inside of the group underneath. There we go. Okay, so I posted it inside of the group so you guys have that as well. And make sure that's posted. There we go. There we go. There. Okay, so that being said, so hopefully the review of what we've covered a lot of information. So hopefully that means that you've been able to process it. Hasn't been, too much. Certainly didn't want you to feel overwhelmed in any way. Hold on 1 second. Let's see, we've got comments here. Okay. There we go. Yes. All right. So let's pull up my slide deck here. So as a picking up from last week, we had some action tasks over the course of the last few weeks. So let's take a look at some of the things that you should have completed to this point so that you have an assurance that everything that should be done up to this point, so that when we get ready to go to the extension series, bonus session, you are going to be in a good space. Okay, so your Obviously, and also I want to be able to hear from you guys. So in the comments inside of Facebook group or here inside of the chat, I want you to let me know whether or not when you first were asked the three things that you expected to gain out of this session. I want you to look back at those three questions, those three comments, the things that you were looking for getting out of this course, and were they met? And I will certainly follow back up with you personally, but I still want you just to kind of give me a thumbs up. Do you feel as though what you've covered so far has met the needs and met the expectations based on what was offered to you? So that's step or question number one. And then, out of module one, we really talked about your mindset. And so some of the things that you walked away having to do was asking yourself, what is your why? What are the three actions to help you develop your own entrepreneurial mindset? I gave you quite a few strategies. So making sure that you've identified the three that you feel are going to help you best in establishing your particular mindset when it comes to starting your business. You also had an opportunity to take a look at your entrepreneurial personality type and where you were able to determine, which ones were you. So hopefully I got a chance to look at some of you guys. Like I said, I am a star in a rocket, and so some of you may be something else. And then you also were tasked to coming up with your mission statement and posting those and sending those over to me. And I think you all did a wonderful job with respect to that in coming up with a clear sense of um, what you want to accomplish, what are those core values, and how you see bringing those, and how that's going to kind of be your core, your filter, as I like to call it, when it comes to making decisions about your business. We're going to be using that vision statement, your mission vision statement, as a part of your launch day, your 30-day launch day strategy. So keep that close by. You should be writing it up, putting it on a big sign, and slapping it on a mirror in any of your spaces. So if you haven't done that already, I strongly suggest that you do so. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. And then you were also looking to establish what were your financial goals, also looking at your current situation, but also writing down what your business idea itself, and then establishing and identifying what those financial monthly goals were going to look like. Because again, there's no point in going into business for yourself if you don't have an aim, a shooting for something that you're aiming for. Yes, we all want to make money, but you need to be very as specific as you possibly can. And then the strategy and how we get to that number is where the rubber meets the road. And then you should have identified who your avatar is, gave you an example of what that looks like. You should build that person or persons out and identifying your target customer. And then also you were to create your niche for niching down, right? Yes, you could do it for everybody, but who is that real specific customer who you are trying to problem solve for by way of the solution you're bringing in the form of a product or a service? And also keep in mind that I threw in that little bonus. It wasn't little, but when we start thinking about your audience, what are those buying triggers, right? And we're going to be looking at those buying triggers when we start thinking about how you will write on your webpage, how you will do your blog posts, how you would work using your marketing strategies. Triggers and those emotional triggers and the things in which you want to be able to tap into when you start working through making your connections and communicating with your customers. And that's going to be really important. And so understanding buying triggers, right? Because we want to be able to take people down that journey of the know, like, and trust, right? We want to be able to make sure that they know you, they like you, and they trust you enough to hand over either their email address or their credit card, right? It's one of the two or both is what we really want. And so remember those 9 buying triggers was part of that component as well. So making sure that you have that profile, researching the business idea that you have, and then getting it down with that niche was one of the other critical takeaways. Then understanding your unique viable product and your minimum viable product. So when we think about those two, and I want to step back and just do those really uh, give some clarity around. In fact, let me bring that image up for you guys. So your unique value proposition, right? When we think of that, let me get my screen. There we go. There we go. Can you see me guys? Okay. Okay, great. So your unique value proposition speaks to what you do that's extra. What is it that you're going to make? Remember, you're trying to separate yourself from your competition. So what is that little like extra oomph that you're adding that you're going to be able to bring to the table alongside that product in that separate in that service, right? What is it that you do that's different than those who are doing something similar to you, right? This ain't the first rodeo, but this is not the first thing to market. You're not reinventing the wheel so much as you are making look better through a lens of who you are and what you do and what you bring to the table. So the next thing is how do you differentiate your offerings from those in your competition? Those are the unique value proposition. You want to be able to say, yes, there's 10,000 different business coaches out here, but this is what makes me unique amongst all the others and why that uniqueness is enough to draw. You also got a bonus, if you recall, in your handbook inside of the thing to do your story, and there were 9 segments about really honing in onto your expertise and framing out a story spacing. And you want to be able to take a look at that. Those are some of those pieces and parts that are going to help you in making those connections. Okay, but your unique value proposition is one. And then, where did the screen just go to? Oops, sorry. Oop, nope. Oop, nope. Where'd it go? I think it's scrolled off. Okay. And then your minimum viable product. So again, your minimum viable product is not, you're not ready to market it yet, right? You don't ask, can this product be created? You instead, should this product be created? So what you're trying to do with your minimum viable product is, what is a crucial component? Yes, you may have a huge selection of things, but you want to start off and just bring one unique, one viable product to market that then you're going to be able to wrap all these other pieces or other products and services around an add-on. Kind of like, think of it like a bundling, right? So you have core service. What is the one thing you can do really well and put that forward as a product? And you're going to be able to market that, right? You don't have, so you don't get distracted because you want to make sure that the core product is what your customer wants. Because if they want that, they'll certainly want anything else that's added to it. That's the basis around it. So your minimum viable product is one lone product or service, so that you're going to take that to the launch day with you. You want to put that out into the market space. You're going to be marketing around that. You're going to be doing your social media on that, you and that product or service, and bringing that forward and testing the waters and making sure that's what's going to work. That's the whole purpose around doing that. Not trying to come up and consuming yourself and wasting lots of time, because it's happened with lots of other people, producing a lot of content that's not necessary when you just need one, and getting really good at it and fixing it and then adding to that. That's the whole purpose around it. Okay. Let me sit back here to the questions. All righty. Hey. Okay. Now, again, ask any questions in the bottom of the chat. Okay. We're good there. Time for another sip first. Congratulations. Okay. Now, what was my next thing with you guys? Minimum viable product. Yeah, I wanted to just make sure those are the two key things that are really going to be crucial as we move forward. So do keep that in mind. Let me take that real quick. Okay. Now, after, so you have, hopefully you have that understanding there. So we've done a quick review of everything that we've covered in the modules. Some of the other action tasks were, again, what is your defined unique viable value proposition? I was going to say wrong. Value proposition. You need to have that. We're taking that to launch day. You also want to have that minimum viable product. What is that? We're taking that to your launch day and framing that out with regards to the plan. So those need to be ready. And then another action task that you had was completing the checklists and adding any items specific to that may be relevant to your different countries. Some of you may have, when it comes to your systems and structures for your business, your legal entities, filing your taxes, your insurance, your partners. Do you need to do patents? Are you going to be leasing property? Any terms and conditions, your privacy policies for your website, content for that. Those are all the moving pieces and parts. So do those quick check-ins. We're going to circle back to most of these again as a part of launch day, but this should not be anything new and should have already been given some thought to what are the things that I know I need to do, haven't done yet, or ought to be doing. Okay. And of course, things like how you're going to get paid, what your finances like. I did do I did go into some in depth on using some useful tools for your accounting and budgeting, your email marketing, which is going to be critical as well. You'll be bringing all of those forward. So if you haven't already done so, make sure that you've scheduled your one-on-one with me as well. Okay. So go through that checklist. And then obviously when it comes to branding, what do you want your branding to communicate? We talked about colors, we've talked about naming. I've given you some strategies with respect to that, and also some tools that are going to help you to do that. And we'll tweak those down even more. But just as a quick review, I wanted to just make sure that these are things that you have identified yourself, so that when we go into action mode for your 30-day countdown, you are going to be in a good space. Okay. And then, of course, we talked about pricing, what it is, how it works, things you need to be mindful of, depending if you're a products or a service-based business, and want to make sure that one of the things that we don't do a good job of as entrepreneurs is we tend not to price ourselves high enough. You may think you're pricing too high, but the market can bear it. And so it's best to do pricing that doesn't rub everyone the wrong way, because it's so out of the field of your industry, right? And you would have done that homework anyway. But not so low that you think you're just going to get more people. And it's not necessarily the case. People who are going to do research on who they want to do business with. That being said, if you are so far down the price tab that you're discounting, which you shouldn't really be doing, but if your base pricing is so much lower than the competition, you're not going to draw the quality customers that you're looking for. The same will hold true for a product as much as it is for a service. And so always keep that in mind. I know people get really nervous because they want to make sure that they're going to be generating income. I would rather have one good client that's going to pay me what I'm worth than 3 crappy, cheapy clients. Because it's going to be those people, those tire kickers, I call them, who are not going to pay on time, who want way more than what they're paying to begin with, and they're always looking for a discount. And that's not how you want to work. And so keep those things in mind. Don't be scared to put pricing and value on who you are and what you do, because you're worth it. As long as you're putting a product and a service that's out there that other people are willing to pay for. And that those are going to be some of the testing of the waters that you're doing with the minimum viable product. And that by adding on to that, your unique value proposition is where people will make a distinction between you and your competition. And because of the connections they're able to make with you by way of your story and the unique experiences that you have, that's where the connection lies. That's where the know lies. That's where the like lies. That's where the trust lies, is those connections. So don't price yourself out too low. And I'm not going to let you anyway, because we're going to be having that conversation as we do our one-on-ones. So no problems there. And again, communicating. So part of your action plan is how would you generate the communications. We're going to be coming up with your marketing plan and your strategies and how you're going to get the word out. There's some precursor. There's like the soft launch, the pre-launch we talked about last week, right? There's the pre-launch, there's the launch, and there's the post-launch. And so what are the things that are going to make those happen? And if in the course of doing that is coming up with a marketing plan, and using content marketing is the particular strategy. Don't even have to use ads necessarily. They're certainly a part of it, but we're not trying to do this and go broke, trying to make money. All right. Okay, let me just check the comments real quick. All righty. Any other comments or questions we have? You can either type them in the comments. If you want to go live, you have to unmute yourself, and then I can hear you, and then I can answer the questions that you may have. So you do have that option. It's time for another sippy tube. Congratulations. It's so yummy. I'm telling you. Okay. Remember, again, everything that you have that's in the folders inside of the Facebook group, those are going to remain there into perpetuity, as Kevin O'Leary likes to use the term. But the content there will always be there. So don't worry in case you lose something or you forget something. All the folders will stay intact, okay? So always have access to that. So we should be at a point today where your action planning pieces and parts from out of your unit, I think was that lesson 11, was thinking about business banking, right? How do you see formulating that, getting that up and running? We want to make sure that you have a separation between your personal funds and your business funds. Got to be clean. And I gave you a resource in order to do that as well. And just want to, in moving forward, so we're at a space now, and what will moving forward look like? Let's talk about your pre-launch and also about launch day in a 30-day window. And the reason why I'm setting it up in 30 days is that each and every day you will have an assignment to do. And so for those of you who choose to carry on in this work, and if you completed all the assignments up to today and you are ready to do, and you've done your one-on-one with me, then you're going to receive a 30-day coaching bonus with me. So congratulations, you guys. Those who showed up today are getting a 30-day bonus. And what will that look like? What that means is that each day I'm going to be sending you a correspondence that is going to give you a task to do. And each task gets you closer to your launch day. That being said, as a good project manager, it is incumbent upon me to hold you to your launch day. So, as I talked about last week, you need to pick a date between 30 and 60 days from today that you want to officially open the doors to your business. And once you have shared that date with me, we will then put into action your launch plan strategy. And out inside of that is where you are going to get step by step every day a task to do to get you closer. This is going to draw off of everything that we've done for the past 6 weeks. And so it's not going to be overwhelming. You should be able to do something each and every day. But that is the sentiment around it, is to build out for you your own personalized 30-day launch strategy. So for those of you who are interested in participating in this particular segment, this is only being offered to those of you who are in the live sessions. Obviously, those of you who are watching, you're not going to have this anyway. So those who are in my e-course, this segment is not being included. So they're having a separate segment. So I just wanted to make that point. So again, part of launch time and your launch day is also making room for how is it that you're going to make this shift, right? How do you want to shift in taking this? For many of you, you're still going to hold on to your 9 to 5. We're not telling you to make a change and jump off, sporadically or anything. But again, the 30 days is to help you make the transition to how is it you're going to manage and monitor a side job, your side hustle, your side gig that you're nurturing and you're building for your audience that is going to help you to grow it in such a way that you can at some point in time decide, yes, I'm ready. I've generated the revenue. I'm being consistent, that I feel comfortable enough that I can fire my boss. And that does take some time, but it's certainly doable. And so we will be talking through those pieces. One of the things that's important when we think about this aspect of your business development is how you're going to plan your time. And what that means is, one of the biggest things that tends to happen for those who are in at this point of starting a business is the fact that it can be very all-time consuming. And you certainly want to have enough focus to get this up and running, but at the same time, you have other responsibilities. And so where does that balance come? And then you want to make sure that you have some sensible work hours that you're going to be able to set aside, and we'll put that into place, as well as social time, that you have an opportunity to outsource some of this work, that you can get the help that's needed, that you can be as efficient as you possibly can by identifying the resources and the tools. Give me 1 second. I see somebody making a comment. All righty. Hello. So I'm going to, if you unmute your mics yourselves, because I can't do it on my side, but if you unmute, I can hear you. And then if you want to ask any questions, I'm going to take you through what a 30-day launch is going to look like, your next step. That's part of an adventure bonus that I'm giving to those who participated in this masterclass for 2 reasons. And I'll be very transparent. One is I want to make sure that you take the next step. That's important to me. It should be important to you, that you invested a lot of time and you invested a lot of energy to get to this day. And in order to do that, may not necessarily mean that you can do it all by yourself. And so what I've done is taken the time to kind of break out a step-by-step 30-day actions that are going to take you to your launch day, and each and every day. So it's kind of like hand-holding, right? Kind of like we call in coaching a gradual release. And so although it is in addition to, this is not what is typically included in the masterclass. However, I've been really working on this and I wanted to bring added value to this course. And so I'm adding it to this particular module for the participants in this segment with the hope that it will probably be a part of the next run. And of course, the pricing will change. And so there lies, I'm modeling for you guys, see? So this is how we work our business in that regard. So it's going to help me help you. I want to be able to get you where you want to be. It's going to give you an opportunity to get you through to the finish line. It's also going to help me get the feedback that's needed, get testimonies. Obviously, that's important. And so it's a win-win for everybody. So I'm hoping that those of you who have been able to participate in the last 5 weeks, that you are ready to embark on the 30 days. But here are the conditions before I step into all the details. I do want to make it perfectly clear that the 30 days is a commitment of 30 days. It's a commitment based on the point that you have identified your launch day. So you own it. I am the push and the support to get you to your launch day. And I will do every and anything I can do to make that happen for you. However, it's your business. It's your business and it's your launch day. But once you choose your launch day, it's like locked. And so you have to be very mindful about when do you feel that you can do that? And it will, and I'm telling you, a good 30 days is doable considering the fact that I know many of you work full-time jobs and you're in the process of wanting to transition. So please do recognize that. So once you're ready to do so, you have between now and December the 31st to decide if you want to go inside of a launch, a 30-day launch program with me. And the reason why I say that is you have to have picked a date 30. When you call up the phone and say, Dr. Yam, I'm ready, then you're saying, I'm ready and here's my launch day. I want to launch on X day. And then we'll make it happen. But this offer is good until December the 31st of 2020. And then after that, the resource will be available. It will not be for free. So that's the offer that I have for you. And I hope that you'll take me up on it. Give me 1 second. I think I see a comment. Hold on. Okay. All right. So let me circle back over here. So you're probably thinking, okay, so I'm going to take you up on this. What does this really mean? So I'm going to give you kind of a vision of what this could look like over 30 days. Number one, it's going to be in the form of an email. You're going to get a correspondence from me each day, and it's going to have a specific task to do. And as long as you can do it inside of the day, you'll be fine. They're going to keep coming. I'm not going to stop because remember, we're working towards a launch day. And if you truly want to be able to say my launch day is X, then you got to be able to stick to it. So it is a commitment. Being in business is a commitment. Once you open the doors, because if you start getting wishy-washy, if you're wishy-washy now, you're going to be wishy-washy with your customers. And I don't want that for you. So you have to decide on your commitment for yourselves. So I hope that was helpful. Again, if anybody has any questions, you can put them inside of the Facebook group comments, or if you want, you can do voice and just unmute your mics. I can see you inside of my panel, so you're good here. So, and again, this isn't going anywhere. So this isn't going to be part of the ebook or anything along those lines. This last session is more of an open, personal kind of group culmination celebration. Oops, celebration. Time for another sippy. Congratulations. I hope you guys are sipping on something nice too. Okay. Let me bring up. Now, many of you have chosen, based on conversations I've had, I've chosen to do an online business. So I'm going to speak to you from that context. But most of what I'm doing, even if you're not, and it's more brick and mortar, a lot of what will need to be done here still needs to be done for a brick and mortar as well. So, or travel model, mobile, whatever your business model is. When I say more business model, it's more along the line of um, product or service. But if your presence is mostly going to be an online business versus something, then you being more coaching, consulting like I do, I'm more front facing with customers. Then it might just be a little bit different. And I'll make some of those tweaks as it relates to those, as because I'm going to customize them a little bit as I move forward with this particular piece. But it is a daily plan to get you to your launch day. Okay, so a quick review of update of what could that look like. So bringing up my screen right here. All right, so like I said this before, starting a business can be overwhelming. Doesn't have to be. If you have some structures and follow through, then it's likely that you can launch a business successfully. Um, and typically, most people will tell you when they started their business, I didn't have an instruction manual. I just kind of shot from the hip, or I knew what I wanted to do. One of the benefits of being able to bring a program like this together for you guys is the fact that I've had the experience of teaching in a business atmosphere, and teaching in that context of business education, as well as doing trainings and seminars along these same subject matters. And so being able to pull that together to provide this course to you has brought me nothing but joy in order to do that. So each day you're going to get um, a comprehensive task um, with simple tasks. Some days will be like, that's it. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Keep it simple, right? But keep in mind that, yeah, you could do this at your own pace. However, I'm driving you based on a launch day for yourself. So, yes, you can, um, if you wanted to fast track, you can say, send me the next one. But I'm doing this at a pace that I feel is best beneficial for you guys. Okay. So you don't have to, but I prefer to just spread this over daily. Um, and so therefore, you're going to get everything done. If you fall, you're not going to get punished if you don't get everything done on a particular day. But you will, the emails will continue to come because they're automated. Okay. So you'll still get all of the content, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Can I get a thumbs up, a comment, or something inside of Facebook that I know I got folks, some of you are online. So I want to make sure. Let's see. Can I? Anybody have any questions before I get started with launch day? What that's going to look like? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. No notes. Okay. Thank you, Miss Melissa. All righty. So, all right, great. Thank you guys for that feedback. I just want to make sure I was getting attention. Okay, very good. So, what will 30 days look like? So here are my notes. So day one, for instance, is securing your domain name. So what I found is that everybody thinks that a name is cute when it comes to business. You have to be really strategic, though, about securing your domain name. And also that that name is reflective of who you are for the business that you're trying to serve. And so you want to be also able, you kind of have to do it all at the same time. You want to be able to not only get your domain name, but you're going to lock down other names. So for instance, one of the other bonuses I'm giving you guys, I'm going to share this on my screen, so give me 1 second, is see if I can, what tab is that? That's tab, okay. I'm gonna share this tab with you guys. So this is called my Let's Get Social worksheet, spreadsheet that I have created for you. And when you give me your when you give me your launch day, you too will get this. Now I'm going to make sure my screen is sharing. Okay, there we go. All right, can anybody see that? Oh, let me take off my little tabby thing. Hold on one second. There we go. All right. So let me just take off me for a second because I want you to see this as big as possible. There we go. So what is this thing you're calling? I'm calling this the Let's Get Social. These are suggested accounts for a new business. And what you're going to do with this is I have identified resources and tools and steps that you should take when you're launching your business, and particularly when it comes to the name and all of that goes with it. What people don't realize is when you can start at the very beginning by identifying not only your domain name, but all of your social profiles at the same time, it's important because you want to have as much consistency in branding and marketing perspective as you possibly can. So let me go and hit my screen real quick. All right. So you'll notice, so this is a spreadsheet that I'm going to be sharing with you, okay? And one of the things that you're going to see here is, this is a workable spreadsheet. And there are some foundation steps here at the top. You're going to save this file. It's a Google Docs document. And what you're going to find is there's a column over here. And this is it done yet column, right? And so you'll notice here, business domain. So when we think about a domain, that's your www.yourbizname.com, right? What are you going to call your business? And I have a resource for you where you can secure that. There's typically a fee that's associated when you secure a brand name, and it's usually annual. So think of a domain as kind of like leasing, right? Property, or like leasing a PO box at a post office. That's how I like to make the analogy, okay? So you're getting an address, you're buying it from the post office in the form of a PO box, okay? That's your domain name. And so that's just the name. You don't have a website yet, just the name, okay? Let me, there we go, okay? So just the name, let me clear, okay. So then what you're going to see is the next component is you'll have program column. So I'm sorry, I skipped. So the first column is done, yes or no. So as you go through each one of these components and you're creating an account for it, you'll be able to check it off. Right now, they're all set to no. If once you complete a task, you just make it a Y, and then it changes colors. Or at least it should change colors. There it is. And it's then going to change colors. And then what you're going to note is that at the very bottom of this sheet is the percentage complete. Don't freak out on me when you're looking at all the list. See, then it says 2.7 complete. Okay, so you're getting a fast track, everything. So just know that's what that column represents. The next second column over is the program column. Sorry, I'm going to make you dizzy with the scrolling. The program are all of the different either websites or tools that you want to subscribe to as well, and you'll get more details as that. The third column is the link. If by clicking on it, it's going to take you to that particular tool where you can sign up or subscribe to, okay? If there is a fee, most of these are free. Majority of them are free. But if there is a fee associated with it, I put a note to it just to give you a heads up, okay? So the first thing you want to think about is your business name. And I believe inside of the book, and if not, I will give you a video on talking about how to think about your business name. The next thing you'll want to do is, once you've gotten your domain, is that you're going to want to establish a business email address. Now, you will note that email that you've gotten from me is saying Dr. Yam at keepitsimplecoach.info. That is my domain, right? And you're getting email from me. You're not getting email from google.com, okay? And you want to establish a business email because it's way more, it looks more professional. So you want to keep that in mind. And again, I have a link for you. It's $12 a year. Sometimes they have specials, it's $9 a year. I put 12 as the average, okay? $12 a year, that's what it costs to have your own email domain, email address, which is going to be connected to your domain name, okay? These two entities are connected to one another. So privateemail.com. So you're going to have all the links to that. So don't worry about writing anything down. You'll then create your email signature. You'll send me an inaugural email, and then you're going to want to establish your username profile. This is the name that you're going to want to use as an identity for your business brand. And then for social profiles, as well as for other accounts. So you'll be able to use this tool to kind of walk you through that. And I give you all the details and step-by-step along the way. And then the last thing is a password manager. The reason why you need a password manager is you're going to be creating a lot of different accounts. That's number one. So you want to have a place where you remember everything. Another is that when you get to the point when you're going to have a virtual assistant, you want to be able to have them access some of your accounts. And you can do this by sharing access to your account through a tool called LastPass. And what LastPass lets you do is you can give someone kind of an alias access to your accounts without sharing the password. That's what LastPass does for you. So I find it to be very, very helpful. So every tool that I have a reason behind it. So this is one of them. So these first 6 steps are the things that are critical. You do these first, and then you're able to carry out everything else afterwards. Because you're going to need the email address, because every time you sign up for something, it's always going to ask you what email address. You want to keep everything connected using that email address, okay? Again, if you have any questions, I'm just doing a quick walkthrough so you can kind of see this is one of the tools that I'm going to be sharing with you once you identify your launch day with me, okay? Then you have a couple different categories. First category is social reach. And so here are all of your accounts. You need to set up business accounts for each of the different profiles that you want to be present on. Let me preface by saying this. You just want to secure the accounts. You're not going to use them all right away, but it's best to secure all of the accounts with a name convention that is as similar as possible across all the different platforms for your sanity's sake. Okay, so that's the purpose for that. The next component is going to be social media management. So great, you've got these social media profiles. Now, how are you going to manage getting content on there? That's what you're going to set up. And these are freebie tools. They all have either a free, altogether totally free, or they have a free version, and then there's a pro version that there's a payment for. What I tell people, no shame, start with the free and you grow into the pro. Get me? Okay. So social media management is one category. You'll create your links for that. Why do I have 4 is a question. Here's why. Some I particularly use for particular profiles. For instance, later I use for Instagram and Pinterest. Reason why is it's designed specifically for those profiles, and the fact that later allows for direct posting. Get into that later, but just know that that's why. iLink Pro is another tool that helps with your Instagram management. Then you'll need categories for your commerce. This is how you're going to, if you're looking to have a website for business pages for Amazon Biz, as well as maybe an Etsy account. I say get them even if you think you don't need them. Again, secure these at the beginning You can always go back to them, but get them while the getting is good. Um, as you create each one of your accounts, you're going to save the link here, so you'll have access to it as a quick link, but to log in as well. If there's any special notes you need to give yourself, you have spaces for that here. That's why these columns are set up for you here. I think I have them labeled as such, right? You add the link that as you create your link there. Any special notes you need to give to yourself, I gave you space for that there. So this is editable, okay? Another category is creation. So most of you have already been working with Canva. Another cool tool that I like to use a lot is Stencil. Point being, one of the reasons why I like to use Stencil is because of my website and how it connects straight to my WordPress platform. So that's another concept around web presence and how you can do your web creations while doing stuff for your blog posting and stuff and creating content. And you have a graphic design tool that's connected with it. Both of them are free. They both have benefits as well. Flipboard is another that I like to use for creating content. It's a really cool tools. Then you have project management tools. I happen to use Asana. I found out about another one. I'm sitting in a meeting with someone tomorrow about that I might add to this group, so we'll see. These are popular tools. Again, all of them have a free version, and then there is a pay to pro version. I covered Appointee with you the other time. These also are for short links. But again, this is for managing projects and tasks. Another one is for communicating. In this particular case, again, it's just an exercise for you to go in and create these accounts so that you get them all done and secured. And then you'll circle back to decide, okay, I'm getting ready to do this. I think I have a tool for that already established. I can come back and do it. And it also helps when you start working with your VA that they're going to be able, that you have some place that you can point them. Like, these are the tools that I use, and move forward and give them direction. So things like for emailing, your grammar, for audio, for podcasting, for blogging, for posting articles on, these are all different tools for communicating vehicle as far as your ability to reach your audience. Then you've got mobile apps. Some of these things are not web page driven. They have to just downloaded apps that only work off of your cell phone or mobile devices. Things like if you want to create your own GIF, you have to use Giphy for that. If Chirp is a micro podcasting tool, which is really cool, that is just an app. Periscope, in order for you to do live on Twitter, you need to use Periscope. That also is an app tool only. Link Send is your digital business card. That's an app only. So I put them all kind of together. You're human. So what is that for? Hey, we're human. You want to always bring a little bit of personality to your audience. And so things that everybody can connect with is we all eat. So since we all eat, then sharing recipes or that you either want to try out or you want to suggest, you may put something together. It's just another way that this is just a resource, and you can kind of create your own special list of recipes that are for your followers that you're either going to create or do whatever. You can get really creative, but I find it to be helpful. Another thing we all do is we all read, or you want to get in the habit of reading and encouraging that. And so if you're reading, you want to be able to share what is it that you're reading, because remember, part of this whole experiment, right, of going into business is you are going to be the go-to expert on your field, right? And so you want to always be coming across as someone who is staying in the know. So picking out books that you're reading or have read, right, is another way of connecting with your audience moving forward. So that's something to keep in mind. For those of you who have a more local presence, then setting up a Google business page. Although I would say this, even if you are not, it's still good to create a Google business webpage. Why? would I want to do that if I'm online business? Let me tell you why. Because Google promotes Google. Okay, it's a Google business webpage, and so create it is not, it is free. So it's going to drive traffic. You're going to be able to leverage. It could be your first version of a web page to get you kind of up and going. I've done that with several of my customers, that we just set them up real quick, down and dirty web pages to get them going. And it was easy enough to do. You follow the steps and you're done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So again, secure it because you can, and it's free. It has some optimal benefits from search engine optimization. And then again, QuickBooks or Wave is what I've shared with you. This hasn't been updated for that. So these are tools that you want to establish these accounts for, and then get that done. So that's kind of be like your first kind of homework assignment. So I'm going to be sending this to you guys. So let me just step back. See if we have any questions. Again, I know it might look like a lot, but what I found is that it's so much easier to just kind of like go in and stake a claim on all these websites with your domain name or your username and sign up for them all at the same time and be done. And then you have a kind of a directory of all of your accounts and everything in one space. So it's just a simple task to kind of sit down and do while you're doing something else on a lazy rainy afternoon if you want to. But it certainly helps those that I've given it to, and they really appreciate it once they understand the logic to it, right? So that is what this tool is for. So that'll be one of your bonuses, is giving you this. So you'll get that, okay? Now, once you've done that, then the 30-day emails are going to kick in. And what that's going to provide you is simple steps each and every day. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of things that are going to take you to your launch day once you've decided on what they are. Let me just stop that real quick. Here's my page. It's time for another sip. And then we're going to wrap up. Okay. And also, just because I don't want to forget, I'm going to be sending you a feedback in an email, as well as I want to do a one-on-one with you on a phone call to just get your feedback, get a sense for where you are, how I can best help you, and it will help me to do better the next time in servicing the next group that comes through. I'm going to give you an opportunity to share some insights as well. And because I always think that feedback is really important. I want to model for you the things that you want to do with your customers as well, because it's important to get testimonies. It's important to get feedback from your customers. Okay, so that's the only promise that you have, is do the debriefing, and that's your ticket in for the 30-day challenge, and getting the spreadsheet that I just shared with you. Sound like a deal? Okay. Now, what will 30 days look like? Well, a couple of things. For instance, I already told you about day one, get a domain name, right? Another task is creating a launch page, right? Now, again, you don't have to have a full-on website to do it. You could simply use a page that you use from MailerLite that we talked about in our bonus session. You can set up a quick website right there. Once you have your domain name, you'll be able to do that. So something simple. But again, when we talk about pre-launch, right, we're talking about that minimum viable product that you're trying to tell people about, and also to put it out there who you are. And so it doesn't have to be all fancy. It's simply a page that just talks about what's coming, right? That's one of the tasks that you'll do. And again, keeping it very simple. Getting active in communities, right? Using your social media and starting to get really warmed up about it. Some of you may have already participated in the personal branding challenge that I did a couple of weeks ago, there was another opportunity and exercise to really warm up to the whole idea of habits when it comes to putting yourself as a brand, which you all have. You all have a personal brand that is then connected to a business brand associated with the business or the product that you have. So, being active in communities online as well as local are going to be important so that you can start with the engagement, so that you can start to build relationships and people can then become more aware of who you are and what you do. Um, Another task could be doing Facebook ads or setting up a Facebook ad and going through that. There'll be some video tutorials that may be coinciding with it and giving you some resources in order to do that. They're not difficult or anything along those lines. But again, these are the steps that we're going to be taking that's going to take you closer to your launch day. But these things that you need to think about, right? 14, 15 days out from your launch day, you need to be setting up your advertising, right? Because you're trying to draw traffic to a particular website and start to do get in front of some maybe warm customers and maybe cold customers. And then press kit, right? Who are you? When people want to, and I note this in that worksheet that you got, one of the things when we talk about storytelling and your expertise is you want that media kit. You want to be able to say, here's my picture, here's my glossy, right? Here's my short bio, here's my long bio, here's my resume. You need a press kit. You want to be able to, when people call on you as the expert, you are ready to serve. What does that look like? And we have templates for that. And I'll be building those things out, okay? Looking for guest appearances, thinking about maybe running a contest, your press releases. What else? Again, a dry run on your ordering, right? What is your point of sales going to look like? And do you have it working? The worst thing in the world that can happen to anybody is that you got this wonderful sale on, and then somebody try to buy something, and your shit is broke. And that is nothing but a turnoff. So you want to make sure that all your systems are in place and ready to go and testing them all out. Okay, because you want to be able to take commerce, you want to be able to take transactions, particularly again for online transactions. If you're doing an online business, as much as you may need to, same holds true for how are you taking your business money from your clients as you're charging them for your service. If you're a service-based business, you need to flesh all of that out. That kind of gives you a sense for things that you'll be doing in over a 30-day window. Some are little tasks, some may be a little bit bigger. I'll handhold you. You'll always have access to me. Dropping me. You can either text me, direct message me. We can get on a call if you need to. But these are your push and your support to get you closer to your launch day. Make sense? Okay. So listen, that's all I got for you guys. I think you've certainly had a lot to consume. And I hope that this has gotten you to a better headspace, because it's a game. It's a mental game. It's a money game. And you got to be ready to be in the game. And so that's what this course was preparing you to do, so that you have a better sense of action taking moving forward. So I'm hopeful. My hope is that I've met that expectation for you guys in helping you to take the next step, and that is to get you to a launch day, and you can start operating your business and optimizing. I think my sangria is talking to me. I'm gonna take another sip. But a way to optimize that opportunity that you have of bringing your talents to the world. They deserve to see it and from you and get all that you have to offer and help them along the way. So that being said, I wanted to stop at the 90-minute out point, and we are 3 minutes away from that. So if there are any questions that you have, again, you can post them here in the group. I'm going to send you each a personal email so that you're going to have your links to the content that I just covered with the thing. Think about your launch day. Think about what would be considered, what would you feel you want to, how aggressive do you want to be in the next 30 to 60 days, at the latest, 60 days out from today, which is basically going to take you to January the 31st of 2021. And I want to be there for you. So if there's no other questions to be had today, then I'm going to let you guys go. Alexa, you got some party music for me? So we're going to step out on some music, some celebrations. I want to say congratulations to each one of you for attending the class, and that you've now become no longer sitters. You are now jumpers. And now it's about becoming launchers. So I hope to be able to take that journey with you as well. So with all that, I want to say, let's get busy and take care. See you. Bye-bye. Cheers.